Hi everyone. So today let's discuss a few problems in strings. Okay. So first question is filter the palindromes. So here we are given a list of strings. So in that we need to filter out all the strings that are palindrome. So in the given list you have Radar, Python, Level, World. So all these are some strings in a list. So how do we filter? So here palindrome reads the same forward and backward after ignoring the non-alphanumeric characters and case for each string, normalize it, compare it against its reverse and keep only the palindromes. So when we see here, we need to, there are cases that you are saying the characters here, but there are cases that you can see the spaces, you can see some hash, ampersand or any character. So for that what we do is, first we are here we are using the list comprehension here in such a way we are passing all the strings into the is palindrome and then checking whether it is a palindrome or not. Here if it is a palindrome then we are adding that string into the list. So this is how a list comprehension works. Okay, so when we are passing the string to the is palindrome, what happens is, here if you see here the method, for each character inside the string check if it is an alphanumeric. If it is an alphanumeric then only consider that character. Okay, so for a given character, for a given string, for example RADAR, what you do is you pick up RADAR because those are alphanumeric and you convert into lower, because when you are doing a comparison there are chances that it can't be equal because of the lowercase, uppercase or anything. So to reduce that redundancy, what we are doing, we are lowering the character. Okay, I mean we are converting it to the lower character. And what we are doing here, this is the important part, you are using join function here. So how the join function works, here the join keeps all the characters, again it will convert into a string. Okay, so now you get character for each particular string, right? All these characters whichever you segregated, again this will be converted to a string. That is how you do. Okay, so then what you are having, you now you got characters which by removing all the letters other than the alphanumeric characters. Now what you are doing, this is the default function we use to check the reverse. So here what we are doing, normalized equals to normalized of colon -1. Okay, so that is how it works. So when we have words, first word is Radar. Radar is checked against the reverse or not. So comparison is true, so we are keeping the Radar. So it is added to the list here. Okay, again Python is not equal, so comparison what happens, equals to false, so we are discarding it, we are not adding inside it. Level, what happens, the comparison is true, so we are keeping. Similarly for world also it doesn't satisfy the condition, comparison is false, so we are discarding it. So at the end what we have a list with Radar and Level, so that is what we are returning. So we are getting the final result as Radar and Level. Okay, so the second question is, check if it is anagram or not. What do you mean by anagram? So two strings are anagrams when they contain the same characters with the same count. Okay, so what we are doing is we are sorting both the strings and we are comparing those sorted characters. So when we use the sorted, what happens is whatever we have string, right, so that will become a list. Okay, so we are sorting it and then we are making it as a list and then we are comparing it. Okay, so what happens, so you have a string listen, you have string silent. So when you do sorted of S1, what's happening is you are getting a sorted characters inside a list. Okay, what you have EILNST. Okay, similarly when you sort silent, what you get, again you have a sorted characters inside a list. Okay, sorted will return what? List. So you compare two lists, they match, so they return true. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so next question is most repeated character. So this question we have already discussed in the earlier, similar thing we have discussed in the earlier video. So what happens is we are taking a character count dictionary here, and then we are have, for example, we have a string input like this. So what we are doing for each character inside this string, what we are doing is we are checking whether that character is present. What is the value for that character inside the dictionary is what we are checking. If it is not present, default it will be 0. So that is how get method works, that I have already explained in the earlier video. So get, when you give 0, when that character is not found in this dictionary, what happens, you will get it as you doesn't have any value, right? So what you have a default value as 0. So for the default value 0, you are incrementing 1. So how it what it will become then, it will be 1. So for example, let us go to the step by step execution. So you have a character A first, because that character is not present in the dictionary. What you have, A, you are checking whether you are checking the for that character value you did not get that, so it will be default as 0. So you are incrementing the value. So 0 plus 1 is how much? 1. So this is how the value will be stored inside the dictionary. Second, you have A again. When you do char count get of that character, now that you have the value, how much it is 1. So this will return 1 and you are appending 1 to it, because it has appeared 2 times, right? So the value of A will be 2. Okay, now again B is not in dictionary right now, so you are adding that value in the dictionary and you are giving the count as 1. Similarly, you have another B encountered, another B encountered. So like that you keep on incrementing whenever that character is encountered. You have C is not there, so you are incrementing value as 1 to a default value which is not present. Okay, D value is not present, so default is 0 plus 1. Then third is D already present, so you have to increment D plus 1, it's 2. Again you encountered D 2 plus 1 equals to 3. Again you encountered D, 3 plus 1 equals to 4. Similarly, this is very important. Okay. So that is how you get all the characters. So once you have a dictionary with all the characters, what you are doing is you are using this function max of char count in this dictionary with having the maximum value. So when you do that, you are selecting D because the count is 4. In all these, what is the character which has the maximum value? 4. So that's why D is returned. Okay, next, check panagram. What is panagram here? Okay, panagram is nothing but if you have the alphabets, if every character inside the string which we get, right, if it contains all the alphabets at least once or not. For example, you have ABCD until Z, right? So all A to Z letters should be present in that string. Okay, so how it works, I will be letting you know. So our input is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So if you observe this, you have all the alphabets present inside the string. Okay, so what we are doing is first we are getting the alphabet set. Okay, so this is the function you use, string.ASCII lowercase. When you string ASCII lowercase, what happens is you will get all the lowercase letters and you are converting it into what? Set. And then what you are doing is whatever string you have, you are converting, you are checking the alphabet character, and then you are adding that character inside the set in the lowercase letter, and you are checking whether whether the alphabets are a subset of this string or not. Or in other terms, you have to say that whatever this text which we have, whatever characters are, should be a superset. That means whatever present in alphabet, everything can be there, and also it can be the letters can be more than that also. Okay, so in that case, as we are only checking the alphabet character, so what we are doing is we have first taken string and then the lowercase, and then we have converted it to the set. So how it looks is a b c d e f, like that until z, and then you have the text which is passed, right? So for this one, for each character, check whether it is alpha or not, and then add it into the string. So it will be like th, like that. For every alphabet it will be added here. So as it is a set, there won't be any duplicates. Okay, because there are chances that there can be duplicates also, right, the letters. So what we are doing is we are checking whether this set is a superset. That means it contains all the elements. Greater than or equal to is not the number or the count is greater or not. No, it is like the alphabet should be the subset of this set. Okay, that is how it works. Okay, so next question, first non-repeated character. So for this one also it works as the how we have discussed in the previous one, like that only. There most repeated means what we did max function. Here what we are doing is, here for every character we are adding into the dictionary the count of repeated character, and we are checking the first encountered. We are just checking for each character if the char count equals to 1. For example, Swiss we have, right? So we iterate through this string, and if the char count of that character is equals to 1, because it is first non-repeated character, it does not pick all the non-repeated characters, right? So we have to understand the question. So first letter, if we encountered, that is enough, we just need to return that. Okay, so that is how it works. So you have Swiss and char count as dictionary. First you encountered S, so as that character is not inside the dictionary, so S as a key is added, and the value we are incrementing to 1 for its 0 default value. Similarly W, and similarly I, but we have encountered S again, so S, how much it will be? 2, and then we encountered S again, how much it will be? 3, and then now we are having a dictionary with all the values inside the string, right? And all the characters inside the string, right? Now we are iterating through the characters inside the string, and we are checking which one first encountered value is 1. So S, as it has 2, we are not returning that. And when we go to W, after S, what is it? W, we have it as 1, so that will be returned. Okay, so next, check string rotation. So for this string rotation, this is very easy. So what we are going to do is, if length of string not equals to length of as we are given 2 strings, right? So what we are doing, the first of all, these two should be, the length should be equal. If the length is not equal, then it is not at all satisfying the condition. Okay, for example, string 1 is ABCDE, string 2 is CDEAB. If the length is both 5, for example 6 and 5, so even if you rotate one, are you getting the other one? Because the length is not equal. So first we need to check whether length are equal or not. Then if length is equal, what we have to do is, we need to just append if you are checking str2, you can check str1 plus str1 whether str2 is present in that or not, because it's a rotation, right? So that's why. And then if just be, here in this case we are checking str1 in str2 plus str2. So when we do str2 plus str2, we get a string like this. Okay, and what is the string A? S1 ABCDE. Do we have ABCDE here? Yes, we have ABCDE here. Okay, so when we are rotating that, we will be getting when we are rotating that, we are getting this string. So that's why this is satisfying the condition. That's why we are saying one string is rotation of another. Okay. Find the unique characters. This is also very easy question. So here what we are doing is, if it is having unique character, so what we are doing, we are converting that string into a set. So set only has what? Unique characters, right? If the length of this string is equal to the length of set of the string after we change it to set, and then if we find the length, if it is that length is equal to actual length of the string, then obviously it is what? Unique character. So we have A B C D E F. Set of string will be A B C D E F. So length of string is 6 and length of set of string is also 6. So since the length matches, what it does, it returns what? True. Okay. Next, we have another important question. What is longest common prefix? Okay, so in the longest problem prefix, we start with the first string as the prefix and trim it until every other string begins with it. Okay, how we do that? So you have strings called flowers, flow, flight, like that. So by seeing that, what is the common prefix we have? FL, FL, FL. Even though flow is present in two strings, but that is not present in the third, so it is not a valid one. So how we do that? So actually I'll let you know how we are going to solve it, so you will understand the code better. So when you do that, every time you take the first string in the list as a prefix value, then what you do, you compare against the other strings inside the list. So what you do, once you encountered when the second one is not when you are checking that value, if it is not starting with this value, what we have to do is we have to decrease one value of the prefix. So when we decrease one value, what it become? Actually we set it as flower as the prefix, right? When we decrease one, what it happens? Flowy. So you have to check if flow is starting with flowy. No, it is not. Until it is not starting, what we are doing, we keep on decreasing. So when we decrease the prefix, now what it will become? Flow. Okay, it satisfies the condition. So for the next value again we will iterate until this is done. Next again we will be checking the iteration. Now flow, now the prefix value is what? Flow. So we have flight. So is flight is starting with flow? No, right? So what we have to do, we need to decrease the prefix value. Okay, then it will become what? Flow. Again we need to decrease, what it become? FL. So is flight is starting with FL? Wow, correct. So that is what we are returning. So how we do, I will let you know. Okay, so you have strings flower, flow, flight. So you are passing that to the function and you are checking whether you have strings or not. If it is not, you just return null. And if this is not passing, what we are doing is we are giving the first string as the prefix, and then for each element in the string, because as you have given the first value as the prefix, you need to iterate through the remaining elements. Remaining elements means from 1. 0th index you already given as prefix, so from 1 you are iterating, and now you are checking whether for each element, if s is not if s is not starting with the prefix, you keep on decreasing last value. So compare with s equals to flow. Flow doesn't start with flower, trim flower to flow. Okay, compare again. Flow starts with the flow, keep prefix flow. Okay, and now as this is done, again next iteration, what is the string value? Because flow is over, second one is flight. So when you are going to flight again, while not S starts with prefix, is flight is does not start with flow, trim to flow, FLO for in the first. Again, because we are only reducing one index, right? Again, it has to go to another iteration. Again, it is not starting, so again you decrease. It will be FL. Then, while not S starts with prefix, yeah, this condition is false because it is starting with prefix FL. So you are just returning what? Prefix. Okay. So that is how you do. This is very easy. Okay. And next, check whether two strings are one edit away. That means you have to determine whether two strings are 0 or one edit apart. Okay, so what we have to do is, if they differ by more than one length, they cannot be one edit away. Otherwise, compare characters while allowing one insertion, deletion or replacement. So how we are doing is, first we are checking the whether suppose we are given pale and plea. Okay, these two are two strings. So when we are given, so you are checking the length of these two strings, whether they are greater than 1 or not. Okay, so if it is greater, no, we want either less than or equal to 1, then only it will be 1 edit or 0 edit away. So when we in the first case itself it is failed, so we are returning false. If not, that means what? It is they are not their lengths are not greater than 1, right? I mean difference is not greater than 1, right? So what we are doing, if first one length is greater than second one's length, what we are doing, first one we are keeping as, always we are keeping the first one having the lower length and second one is having the higher length. That's why we are interchanging the strings. Okay, then what we are doing is, while I less than length of S1, while j less than length of S2, what we are parsing through that. We are passing through, and you have to understand why we have found difference is equal to false and how we are using it. Initially, we are marking as found difference is equal to false. When we have encountered the first time difference, we are marking it as true. Okay, but when we encounter the found difference is equal to true, when we are checking whether the values are equal or not, when the found difference is already marked as true, in the second iteration, if you have got the found difference as true again, that means what? Two times you found the difference, right? That means two times if you are finding the difference means they are not one edit away, they are more than one edit away. Yes or no? That's why we are returning false. Like how we are doing is, we are checking whether the value of first one and second one are equal or not. For example, P and P are equal or not? They are equal. That means we did not find the difference. Okay, so that's why we are increasing I equals to 1. Okay, if in the next iteration what we are doing, in the next iteration, and default j plus equals to 1. So next what we are doing, in the next iteration, P, A and L we are checking. When A and L, when we are checking what's happening, did we found the difference? They are not equal. Yes, we found the difference. Found difference is equal to false. As the found difference is equal to false, which we have set earlier, so this won't come inside this. It is the initial time, right? So found difference is equal to true. Now we have set and check if length of S1 equals to length of S2, then I plus equals to what? 1. Now we are checking whether the length of S1 equals to S2 or not. Now the length of S1 is not equals to length of S2. So we are just increasing J. Okay, now it will be A. So that is how we are checking, as these two have only one difference away, right? Just if we add PA, then it would have been enough, no? Then it is true. But when you do bake, you have two differences, right? That means in the first iteration it will be true. In the second iteration, if found true, that means it's not equal, it will be found true and it will be returning false.